The Victoria and Albert Museum has a most spectacular collection of jewels in its permanent gallery, but has brought together jewels created for royalty in Britain, India, Belgium, Monaco, Greece, and Romania for the magnificent Cartier exhibition. Featuring more than 350 objects, the exhibition charts the evolution of the house's legacy of art, design, and craftsmanship since the turn of the 20th century. It was at that point that the three grandsons of founder Louis Francois set out to create the first globally recognized jewelry house, establishing branches in Paris, London, and New York. With so many jewels created around the span of centuries, we want to highlight only 10 creations that made Cartier shine out and gather even more magnificent orders from new royal clients. These jewels keep fascinating us with tales of grandeur, love, and even secrets unveiling the Cartier's definite influence on the royal stage of beauty. But before we continue, welcome to support our channel by subscribing and liking this video so we can grow our community of jewelry enthusiasts and inspire us for greater content. So let's dive into the Cartier Brilliant Voyage. With an enviable client list of royalty and aristocracy, Cartier became known as the jeweler of kings and the king of jewelers, and later broadened its appeal thanks to the devotion of leading creatives from the worlds of cinema, music, and fashion. And we want to start with the jewel which luckily escaped the heartbreaking fate of being auctioned off and was placed to the Victoria and Albert Museum as a permanent display. Manchester Tiara. It's the globe-spanning love of Cartier's jewelry adventure that opens the new space to the time of magnificent jewels creation. Walking past 1903, Manchester Tiara, commissioned by the Dowager Duchess of Manchester, perfectly captures Cartier's ambitions as a leading jewelry house. The tiara features 7 graduating heart motifs of diamonds set in gold and silver. Each heart has 3 dangling diamonds at the center and is topped by a detachable scroll and single collet diamond. With its heart-shaped motif, it would be easy to assume that the Manchester Tiara was born of a passionate love affair. Sadly, this is not the case. It was made by Cartier for Consuelo, Dowager Duchess of Manchester, the daughter of a wealthy Cuban-American landowner who had married Viscount George Montague, the future 8th Duke of Manchester. The Duchess provided over 1,000 brilliant cut diamonds and over 400 rose-cut diamonds for the tiara, with Cartier providing additional rose-cut diamonds, along with some glass at the ends to make up the design. However, she was photographed wearing her Cartier tiara in a portrait only once, shortly before her death, along with a diamond garland choker and a corsage brooch. Thankfully, tiara wasn't lost in time after her passing and was inherited by her son, the 9th Duke, and worn by his wife, Helena Zimmermann, the Duchess of Manchester, for the coronation of King George V, along with the garland choker, corsage, and an emerald necklace. But here comes the saddest part. The family was facing financial difficulties throughout the 20th century and had to sell the family seats of Kimbleton Castle and the Tanzania Castle. But the tiara and the family jewels remained in their possession and were often loaned for exhibitions. Only after the death of the 12th Duke of Manchester, the Cartier tiara was accepted by the British government in lieu of inheritance tax and was then allocated to the Victoria and Albert Museum, where we can see it even today. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother Aquamarine brooch. It is well known that Cartier had supplied dozens of beautiful jewels to the British royal family, including diamond and aquamarine tiaras, just like Princess Anne's Pineflower aquamarine tiara. But one piece stands apart, as it was a special commission and a gift of love. What is known is that the aquamarine brooch dates back to 1935, with one of its first documented appearances 4 years later, when the Queen Mother wore the jewel to meet with President Lebrun of France at Windsor Castle, stepping into the light illuminating the palace. The jewel, made of platinum and set with aquamarines and diamonds, was one of many gifts acquired by her husband at Cartier in London, and was chosen by Queen for all celebrations upon victory in Europe over Germany. Since 2002, the brooch was given to Queen Elizabeth II, who was known for her love for brooches, especially those having a deep sentimental meaning. Perhaps because it was such a favorite of her mother's, Her Majesty didn't resurface the Art Deco aquamarine brooch for over a decade. It wasn't until 12 years after her mother's death that she wore the brooch in public, stepping out at Royal Ascot with a stunning gem pinned to her jacket. The Art Deco gem has been worn several times since then, usually at times of celebration where the Queen might have been keeping memories of her mother close to her heart. Sadly, this brooch was also the last one the Queen wore in public when she made an unexpected visit to open the new Thames hospices, pinning the jewel to her blue floral dress. And now we were lucky to see the beloved piece at the Cartier exhibition in London, making indeed a special tribute to the Queens of England. Patiala Diamond Necklace. According to historical records, the Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala traveled to Paris, bringing with him numerous trunks of precious stones, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, pearls, and rubies of the highest quality, set in antique Indian settings, which he decided to have reset at Maison Cartier. Among the shining gems, one was a brilliant De Beers yellow diamond. Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala bought this seventh largest diamond in the world. The De Beers, when it was exhibited at the Paris Universal Exhibition, the great diamond was mined in Africa in 1888, and that's where the story of Patiala necklace takes its roots. The necklace was a magnificent display of craftsmanship and artistry, reflecting the opulence and grandeur of the Maharaja's royal court. It was said to be one of the most valuable pieces of jewelry in the world, and it would have cost up to $30 million in its original form. And no wonder, as it was designed with 5 rows of platinum chains embellished with 2,930 diamonds, including the famed 234.69 carat De Beers diamond. Despite having commissioned the necklace and being quite fond of jewels, Maharaja Bhupinder Singh was rarely seen wearing the Patiala necklace, typically worn with the Cartier diamond choker. The Maharaja made a notable appearance in Spain in the 1930s when the Duke of Miranda hosted him. However, the story of the Patiala necklace took a sudden turn when the jewel disappeared. Over the years, there have been numerous theories and rumors about the whereabouts of the missing jewels. Some believe that the necklace was smuggled out of India and sold on the black market, while others speculate that it was broken up and sold off in pieces. For 32 years, there was no sign of this necklace until one day. In 1982, at the Sotheby's Patiala Royal Family Auction in Geneva, the De Beers diamond reappeared again. Today, the Maharaja's Patiala necklace is on display at the Cartier boutique in New York City, where it continues to awe and inspire visitors with its beauty and history. And of course, the Maison brought it to London as one of its grandest jewels. Williamson Pink Diamond Brooch. Among the many jewels to covet is the pink-hued Williamson Diamond Brooch, commissioned for Queen Elizabeth II in 1953. The Queen chose this piece for the wedding of Prince of Wales and Lady Diana Spencer, and many years later, it was also worn for the wedding of Viscount Linley and to the wedding of Prince Edward. The Williamson Pink Diamond Brooch had been frequently displayed as a part of exhibitions held by the Royal Collection, and in 2018, it was loaned to the landmark Cartier exhibition held in Canberra, and now for the Victoria and Albert Museum exhibition. Devonshire Opal Tiara. One of the biggest surprises in the exhibit is the stunning Devonshire Cartier Opal Necklace Tiara, which has been exhibited for the first time. The piece was often worn as a tiara and as a necklace by Mary, Duchess of Devonshire, the first mistress of the robes of the late Queen. Ahead of the coronation of King George and Queen Elizabeth in 1937, the then Marchioness of Hartington commissioned this striking Art Deco tiara from Cartier containing large black opals set in an Art Deco diamond design, which could also be worn as a necklace or brooches. The opals were quite fragile, and the Duchess often feared they might disintegrate while upon her head. The opal tiara was also more frequently worn as a necklace, often being worn with the 2 Devonshire diamond tiaras, most notably at the Queen's coronation in 1953, where the Duchess had a leading role as the mistress of the robes, and later on, state visits to Sweden and the Netherlands. However, the versatility of the piece didn't end there. The Duchess could break up the individual opal and diamond elements and wear them as brooches, not just individually, but also joining three of them together as a stomacher, which was worn to the wedding of Princess Margaret in 1960. Surprisingly for us, such a transformable piece of jewelry with amazing opals was never exhibited before, meaning either the current Duke of Devonshire wasn't eager to lend the piece, or it's quite likely the tiara was hidden away for the viewer's eyes in favor of two larger Devonshire diamond tiaras. No matter what is the real reason, we are glad to witness more creations of Cartier. Cartier Indian Tiara. The magnificent Cartier Indian tiara, with rather a deceiving name, was created by Cartier in the 1920s, being acquired by Princess Marie Louise before being inherited by the Duke of Gloucester in 1956. So why was it named as an Indian tiara? This spectacular tiara, made solidly in diamonds, sapphires, and pearls, was inspired by the Maharajas in Indian architecture. And as we know, Indian kings played a significant role in Mason's jewelry style exploration, and hence comes the tiara name. The tiara was bought by Beatrice Mills, the Countess of Grenard, who had mounted additional Art Deco diamond brooches in place of aquamarines on the tiara, before it was returned to Cartier around 1937. The same year, the Cartier Indian tiara was acquired by Princess Marie Louise in time to wear at the coronation of King George, and continued to be worn for years afterwards, most notably for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. After many years, the tiara found its revival radiance at Brigitte, Duchess of Gloucester jewelry box, who is married to Prince Richard, Duke of Gloucester, a grandson of King George V. Despite Duchess immediately got access to an amazing set of tiaras, including Gloucester honeysuckle tiara and the Tech turquoise tiara, this one outshines them all with its size and grandeur, making it a good suit even for a queen. Don't you think so? And now we want to turn your attention to the bracelet designed by Cartier with the diamond, which history takes us back to the Gaekwads of Baroda. Star of the South Diamond Bracelet. The shining bracelet full of diamonds carries a center diamond known as the Star of the South. The beautiful gem, also known as limar, is graded as a Type 2A diamond with a color grading of fancy light pinkish brown and was passed through the hands of several buyers. While being exhibited in 1862 at the Great London Exposition and then at the International Exposition in Paris, it caught the eye of Maharaja and eventually was sent over to Prince Malhar Rao of Baroda. For over a century, the diamond remained with the Gaekwads of Baroda, being mounted on a necklace along with the 78.5 carat English Dresden diamond. The gem put into a necklace was passed down to Maharaja Pratap Singh Rao Gaekwad, who married Maharani Sita Devi, the Indian Wallace Simpson. But how did the diamond get into the current setting? The Baroda royal family had been fighting countless disputes over the massive wealth and property of the royal family, worth $4.3 billion, among which was the Star of the South diamond, which was discreetly sold out and in 2002 was finally bought by Cartier, who set the diamond into a bracelet. After a gap of 75 years since it was last worn, Sheikh Moza of Qatar wore the famed Star of the South diamond on a Cartier bracelet, which the family loaned for the exposition in London, along with one more beautiful diamond and pearl necklace. And now we want to shed the light into one more creation of Cartier, less known in the royal circles, but if you noticed, its name reminds us of one more prominent piece, British Cartier Halo Tiara. However, it's two different jewels with different stories and worn by different princesses. Cartier Lotus Halo Tiara. The magnificent diamond tiara was designed in 1934 for Princess Andre Aga Khan, who became the third wife of Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah. It features stylized lotus flowers set onto a diamond band and is intended to be worn high on the head. The daughter of the desk manager at the Grand Palace Hotel of Aix-les-Bains in France, André Caron became one of the world's richest and most glamorous women upon her marriage to the Aga Khan. The ceremony, which lasted for 7 days, took place in Bombay on the 18th of December, 1929, with the great and the good of high society in attendance. Despite lavish life and dozens of jewels, including some from Cartier, the princess never grew accustomed to the life of luxury she was now entitled to, and the couple divorced after 14 years of marriage. Following her death, her son, Prince Sadruddin, inherited the tiara, but after he died heirless, it was lost for several years. Thankfully, it resurfaced a decade later, being showcased by Cartier at multiple exhibitions, including this one at Victoria and Albert Museum. And last but not least, we are turning our eyes to the House of Grimaldi, who can also boast with many prominent jewels, including this one, Benze Tiara. The princely family of Monaco has loaned Princess Grace's iconic Benze Tiara to showcase most beautiful piece designed for the House of Grimaldi. Moreover, just looking at the image, you won't guess the tiara is designed by Cartier, as it is totally inspired by the new princess and themes of the Monaco flag. The tiara, created by Cartier, bears the name of the Société des Bains de Mer, the Monegasque institution that presented it to Princess Grace of Monaco on the occasion of her wedding. It consists of 3 rubies with cascading set diamonds, was worn for some of her well-known photos and in the days preceding her wedding. For more versatility, the rubies can be swapped out for diamonds, and these components can be taken off and worn as pendants or brooches on a chain. The magnificent piece reminds of red and white, which are the colors of the Monegasque flag, and rubies feature throughout the princess's jewelry collection. On some existing images, we can see Kelly wore the 3 jeweled pieces as hair decorations and brooches, making it indeed a grand wedding gift. Prince Rainier later gave the princess a pair of ruby and diamond earrings and a ring to complete the set. And did you know that Cartier recently created a replica of this classic piece for the movie Grace de Monaco, in which Nicole Kidman plays the princess? But Cartier is as much about storytelling as it is about sparkle. From Indian-influenced motifs to the decadent geometry of Art Deco, each piece tells a tale of artistic exchange, royal patronage, and fearless reinvention. Don't you think so? Which type of jewelry designed by Cartier do you love to look at? If you were given a chance to try on Maison's jewels, which piece would you choose? Share your thoughts and impressions with us, and don't forget to subscribe to help us grow. Your likes and comments are very valuable. See you on our next brilliant journey.